This is the other side of the story. Here, I'm gonna give you that too. This is a another example of this: hugging the middle, moderation, and hugging and kissing right wing fascists. It doesn't work. Gavin Newsom wants to be president. Okay, so what did he do? He set up a podcast. He heard that, like, podcasts are so important for winning elections. Guess what, dude? Here's new data on the reaction to Gavin Newsom's new podcast. Favorability amongst liberals has declined from 40% to 30%. While some Republicans agree with the stances, they overwhelmingly viewed him as insincere, calling him fake and pandering. His net favorability went from +4 to a -6 to a 10-point swing in the wrong direction. Only 13% of voters had an improved perception of him, and only 1 in 5 said the podcast made them want to tune in for more. It doesn't even work in the sphere of podcasting. And Democrats are so one note on this, like, let's hug and kiss the middle. Let's find this, like, reasonable moderate between Steve Bannon and Gavin Newsom that they even fail at podcasting. I don't understand what these guys are doing. It feels like they just look to some of the most historically unpopular figures like Kyrsten Sinema or Joe Manchin within the Democratic Party, and they're like, we need to be more like that. Why? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Like, you're at this point, it's just a podcast, right? It's just a podcast. You want to win an election, don't you? You want to win elections. You want to have a successful podcast. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever to behave like this, to operate like this. It doesn't make sense at all. Jesus Christ. They're eroding. Looks like Democrats are saying we don't want to hug the middle. New NPC poll shows 2-1 Democratic leaders to fight back, even if it means partisan gridlock. It is funny to me, though. Like, they are at the very least honest, it seems. They are at the very least honest. Like, the Democrats seemingly are intellectually and morally consistent on this, where they're like, yeah, even if my podcast fails, I still don't care. I'm still going to abide by this, like, weird. These images. I'm still going to abide by this weird ass, this weird ass attitude that there is some semblance of like if I were to advocate for the moderate middle, like, then magically someday people will come to terms with what I'm doing.
Are one of the reasons that Donald Trump's approval rating is tied with his highest approval rating ever, according to this NBC poll. Look at the numbers. Trump's approval rating is 47%. That's higher. I know that you might say more people disapprove, but that's always the way it is if you ask a Democrat about a Democratic president or a Republican president. But that's a really good number, an approval rating of almost 50%.
And 4 years ago, his first term, he was at 40% at this point. This is so significant. They asked people if we're on the right track in November. 25% said yes. Now they're asking people, are we on the right track as a country? 44% said yes. This is pretty astounding.
But not good when it comes to the Democratic Party right now.
That's the highest one.
Dems are partnering with more creators, though some worry about an over-reliance on the same friendly/safe group. Dems are so afraid of doing or saying any wrong thing, said Olivia Giuliana, who has not been invited to any creator events since the election. Who are they going to sign off on? Who are they going to work with? They're trying to do it themselves, too. That's the other side. Dude, that's so funny that Olivia Giuliana is not considered safe enough. That's amazing. Oh, that's so awesome. David Pacman, yeah. Brian Tyler Cohen, David Pacman. The problem is maybe not David, but like Brian is probably actively criticizing them too. Midas Touch. Midas Touch is like a liberal safe territory. I mean, this stuff is so bad too. Like, this has 100 and dude.
All right,
dude,
now that
what the this also has 128 likes. Like, it's so ass. If you're 800 years old, you should not be making TikToks. I mean, you shouldn't even be in Congress, in my opinion. I'm sorry. There's a collection of 47 content creators and staff are involved in the Democratic Strategic Communications Committee's efforts, said of the party's 47 senators, including 2 independent who caucus with the Democrats. The Senate, the Booker-chaired SCC, is driving the creator-focused work. Booker, an early adopter of Twitter and now a fan of selfie-style videos, said he approached Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. Oh, my God. There's 2 categories in my analysis whenever I look at the actions of the party. I look at two categories as like, is this malicious and they are controlled opposition, or is this because they're stupid? This to me is the stupid camp. This is not like malicious controlled opposition camp. This is stupid camp. In most circumstances is both, but this is like an entirely stupid camp decision. Like they want to do something, but they're too stupid to figure it out. That's what this is. They want to do something. They saw the podcast popping off, tried to warn people as much as I could in this entire process. Mainstream media was coming out and interviewing me like, oh, who's the Joe Rogan of the left? You're the Joe Rogan of the left. And I kept saying, you can't podcast your way out of this problem. You can't podcast your way out of this problem. The party has to change its policies. The party has to communicate earnestly about changing people's material conditions for the better. And they were like, okay, nope, we're going to try to podcast our way out of this problem. Good luck. Oh my God. Like, even if you remove politics from the equation and think about this on pure marketing terms, it makes no sense to not try to understand what your audience wants from you. Yeah. Booker says he sees his role as SEC chair as encouraging his colleagues to take the energy they'd bring to a town hall and instead put it on a digital platform. Calling the talk the anatomy of virality, he pointed out how Republicans were able to get their message, whether it was Joe Biden tripping or falling or Ted Cruz going on a rant in front of voters while Democrats were not. Oh, normally senators don't film. By the way, look at this. This entire article has clips of the Democrats attempting to do this, and then the analytics right here demonstrate that failure. Okay? It's not that people can't hear you because you're not directly reaching out to them. It's because people don't like your message, because people don't believe you. People don't believe that you have their best interest in mind. And why should they believe that? You spend every election cycle complaining about how people have to vote for you or else all hell will break loose. And when you're in the minority party, you have some tools at your disposal. You have some tools at your disposal to resist against the Trump administration, and you throw those tools aside and you spit on the face of your voters. All you're good for is begging for donations, man. It's disgusting. Why would people ever defend you? Why would people ever vote for you again? You're so bad. You're so bad at your job. I can't believe that we spend any time on how genuinely awful the Democrats have been pre-election cycle, post-election cycle, when the Trump administration is gutting the administrative state, when they're doing fascist-ass violating the last bastion of a constitutional democracy with checks and balances. They're just destroying the judiciary. And Democrats are so incompetent that, like, I have to sit here and be like, do something. Do anything. Oh, my God. While the videos did draw attention from the right, many Democrats, including Congress, questioned whether it was a smart move. Collaborations, cross-posts, and influencer row. Senators participated in a live stream with Pod Save America while opposing the nomination of Office of the Management Budget Director Russell Vought, and they made videos with creators virtually and in person during the budget vote-orama. House Democrats have also welcomed creators of the Capitol, where they've interviewed lawmakers alongside traditional reporters. In one such instance, at a news conference on Medicaid, a clip of Jasmine Crockett went viral for what her message to us would be. Democrats seem to be really leaning into profanity. Yeah. They're doing TikTok dances, dude. Oh, God. They literally didn't understand that people resent that shit, okay? Americans hated nurses doing TikTok dances during COVID. Do you understand? Nurses that were risking their lives every day to make sure that people weren't dying. Americans despise that shit. They literally were like, oh, why the f are you dancing? How dare you dance? It's COVID time and you're over here dancing. Now the one group of people that are the least popular people in America are running around and doing TikTok dances. What the hell are they doing? Yeah, this is a great question. Do you think Bernie was popular on the internet because he was doing TikTok dances, or was it because he was saying policies young people were excited by? They will never change, man. No, I know. Yeah, Bernie famously is a big TikTok dancer. That's why they like him so much. Bernie's entire existence and his overwhelming popularity across the board, across party lines, unironically destroys this argument in its entirety, but they just cannot admit that, because that would mean admitting ideological defeat. These guys are zealots, okay? They are loyalists. They believe in third-way neoliberalism through and through. That's it. That's the only thing they believe in. They don't care about anything else. They just want to maintain that project. I could scream from the rooftops at every single Democratic representative to just do Bernie. Just fake it. Just do Bernie. Just do Bernie. Just do Bernie. And that's it. I'm no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I'm changing the things I cannot accept.
I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. Here's to the great Angela Davis.
Sick, man. Sick. You're really cooking with that one. Thank you. Wow, that one banged. When every other person in the caucus is 850 years old, they look at that and they go, well, you know, he's a handsome man. He's a handsome young boy. For the joint session, Democrats brought 40 creators in to meet with more than 150 members. Sully Jessica Wu, an influencer known as Bento Box Queen, who built an audience of millions while making lunch for her daughters, was invited to the Capitol by Chorus, a new collective that supports creators advocating for democratic causes and policies. She's the influencer behind the viral Choose Your Fighter video. That's who made that video? The Choose Your Fighter video? Oh, no. Oh, my God. Oh, no. Ugh. I don't know anything about this influencer. I know the video that they're talking about. You know what? Let's watch it. Let's watch that video. Let's watch that video. Does anyone have a link to it? Does anyone have a link to it?
Choose your character.
I'm just going to keep running this on repeat.
Choose your character.
Like, this is the thing that people don't understand. Look. Representative Catherine Clark, House Minority Whip, Massachusetts 5th Congressional District, not into hair dye. I don't care. I don't care. Nobody cares. Don't try to make these people into influencers. I don't give a The only reason why people would care about their personal background of these people and like develop parasocial relationships with them is if they like what they're advocating for and believe that they're earnestly on board with making their lives better. Public defender attorney, not a morning person. Like, no one. This is aping Trump, to be honest, the liberal version. Him going on talking about whatever the fuck. Yes, but the problem is, there's two problems there. One, Trump is a television personality. He already had an audience. He already had a level of prominence, and he's telegenic. And not only that, but he tapped into the things that he successfully perceived as his base caring about, even if he personally doesn't care about them. You understand? Like, he's so actively, he talks about how he talks about trans people all the time now, right? All the time. If you recall, a couple years prior, even when he was running for president in 2016, he was like pro-trans, openly pro-trans. A couple years ago, when he announced his candidacy, he kept saying, yeah, you guys care about trans people a lot. You care about it more than you care about tax cuts. Like, he knows what his base wants and he responds to it. He gives them what his base wants, even if it's red meat. He'll give his base the red meat that they want. And that creates this cycle where he's both charismatic and telegenic enough, but also simultaneously he's like offering things to his base of support. You cannot create popularity like this. It just doesn't work that way. Okay? It doesn't work that way. You can't just be like, yeah, I'm a Trekkie for AOC. Like, if they did this video, not in this cringe ass way where like it's like a choose your fighter style situation, but instead, if they were like, here, I'm going to introduce you to these congresspersons and we're going to talk about the top 3 policies that they are going to advocate for the rest of their lives, okay, until the cows come home. This would be a more impactful video. It sounds nerdy, but that's what people care about. Nobody gives a what your favorite TV show is. You know what I mean? Hates balloons. Like, oh man, I hate balloons too. Now I feel so close to this person. Like, that's not how this goes. No one would watch it either? No, you're wrong. Dude, I have 40,000 people in here every day. What are you talking about? Do I talk about like the personalities behind the things, or do I talk about the policies and their impact on your lives? My own personality or my own parasocial comes after. It's secondary to the causes that I advocate for. That's what's most significant. What do you mean? I'm not even a congressperson either. There are living, breathing examples of this, like Bernie Sanders, Claudia Sheinbaum. You'd have 50K if you told us which House representatives hate balloons. Yeah. Oy, oy, oy. At first, Wu said the response to the fighter video was positive. Feedback focused on girl power, fighting for her audience, which is largely made up of younger women. But then it went to the wrong side. She said she didn't mind, though, because she would like to interview Trump and give him a hug, because I feel like he really needed that growing up. Oh, my God. The only people who think that video is cringy are older people that don't do TikToks, Wu said. Gen Z people in my comments are like, love it. They think it was just another video. They probably even scrolled. They didn't even think twice. Then the message failed. Like, no disrespect to this content creator, okay? No disrespect to this content creator. Like, this is still entirely the fault of the Democratic Party. Going to a safe influencer, safe because they don't fully, they're not fully invested in the American political machine and how to win elections and whatnot. It's their cowardice that is causing them to develop results like this one that come across as insanely cringy to people who do care about this shit. Oh my God. Calm down. David Graeber on the extreme center. People need to understand that this is why they will never learn the lessons you want from them. They only want to win with neoliberalism. 3 minutes.
The kind of politics we have now.
Rest in power, David Graeber on the extreme center.
Where the left is represented by this kind of Obama-Macron-style centrism, where you're both for the market and for bureaucracy at the same time. You know, it's kind of horrible, right? The only possible appeal of that kind of politics is, well, at least they're not Nazis, right? So what they want is the left to be this kind of mishmash of bureaucratic market centrism, and the right to be outright fascist. To set the ball rolling in an actual left direction will make that centrism look like utterly unappealing.
Yes.
And friends, sometimes they talk about...
Yes. That's the reason why they're terrified of people like Bernie and why they will never concede to left populism. Because left populism, especially when it is done by an earnest communicator with a lifetime of moving the needle in that direction, a lifetime of advocacy, makes someone like Hillary Clinton look like the morally bankrupt, the morally bankrupt parasite that she is. Okay? In the eyes of the constituents, even a constituency that is so that gets their notes entirely from MSNBC, because that's what the Democratic primary base is. Average people don't go out and vote in the primaries, unfortunately. They don't know that primaries are happening. I know this from door knocking, okay? They just don't know. They don't know that primaries are happening. They don't know that it's important. They like Bernie. They just don't even think about voting in the primaries. In the general, on the other hand, a lot more people come out and vote. Big base in the primaries is just like the MSNBC watchers, the New York Times readers, the people that take their notes from people that tell them this is the most electable candidate. That's why you have to vote for him. They don't have any interest in policy. They just simply want to defeat the Republicans. They're the Democratic Party loyalists, okay? The diehard people. The people that are now yelling at the Democrats, by the way. That's important to understand. And those guys would 100% lend their support to a Bernie figure. They would 100% lend their support to whoever the Democrat is. They are a lock. They are the definitely going to vote for the Democratic Party base of support. And yet that base consistently votes for centrists because the centrist TV channels tell them you have to vote for a centrist. The other guy is bad. The other guy is bad. This is at the heart of the problem. The reason why there's so much institutional resentment towards the Bernie Sanders style figure from establishment Democrats is because if anyone was being honest enough, if the media was being honest about this stuff and they propped up Bernie in the same way they try to make brat happen for Kamala Harris, for example, or even Joe Biden when they claimed that he wasn't brain dead, right? Like the amount of support that he got from mainstream media in general that he even then thought wasn't enough. Like if they did that, okay, if they did that for Bernie, it's over. Why the would anybody vote for the diet version of Bernie. They wouldn't. Just like people actively chose to vote for the real thing with the Republican Party and not the diet version of the Republican Party. This is the problem with centrism. You don't stand for anything, so you fall for everything. And you, at this point, are falling for fascism. You are allowing the administration to completely destroy what remains of like our civil liberties. Even in general, remind 30% of people voted for Kamala, 31% voted for Trump, and 39% didn't vote. And of those who voted, about 50% never heard any Dem messaging seen by Google results after the election. Dem messaging sucks. It's not just that the messaging sucks. It's what the message sucks. The message itself sucks because the policies suck. And the policies suck because these guys are literally zealots. They are market fundamentalists. They have an undying loyalty. They have fealty towards the markets. They have fealty towards neoliberalism. That's it. That is what the problem is. It's nutty how much they truly believe their own They truly believe it, and they don't even care if people find it to be unpopular. They're like, no, that's why we're going to win in the margins by saying we're marginally better than the opposition. We're not fascists. They are. Yeah, the Dems are the free market fedayeen. Absolutely. And the existence of like a real left vision kind of breaks that in the minds of a lot of people where they go, whoa, 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 a better future is possible? Holy shit, you can have a person truly advocate for policies that I think will immediately improve the conditions that I experience on a day-to-day basis. What the hell? That's wild. I like that. Can we get more of that, please? That is the most terrifying prospect for the Democrats. If the Democrats and their base demanded them to actually follow through on these policies and not simply lie to them and say that they're just like marginally better than the Republicans, then they have to actually do work. And doing work for the left party, okay, not saying that the liberals are leftists, but it is the party that is to the left of the Republican Party, which is the far right party, right? But that is the party to the right, would mean doing things that are inherently anti-capitalist. The American left party, being the liberals, the Democratic Party, implies that if they were to actually move policy leftward, they would have to do things that are anti-capitalist. And I don't mean like seize the means of production. I mean anti-capitalist as in against the immediate interests of capital and its short-term profit-seeking behaviors, okay? That's what regulations are. Regulations are inherently anti-capitalist. Regulations and social safety nets are inherently anti-capitalist. Redistributive policies are anti-capitalist. Labor protections are anti-capitalist. Not to say that they are socialist, okay? I'm not saying that. I'm just simply saying that all of these policies that the Democrats lie about when they want to win your support, those are all inherently against corporate interests. But because they are also backed by the same corporate structure, they cannot actually follow through on those policies. They hate it. That's why they constantly find a rotating villain in the party. That's it. Historically speaking, any sort of initiative that is marginally to the left of what is permitted by American corporations will immediately be destroyed by a member inside of the Democratic Party. This creates chaos within the Democratic Party. Hasan, you need to read more theory. You're right. Instead of explaining to people the American duopoly, I should be talking about how it is a bourgeois system that benefits the capital owners only. And that is precisely the reason why neither of these two parties in the current duopoly structure that we have are not actually going to defend the interests of the working class. Oh, wait, I did do that, actually. I just used simpler terms because I'm not a moron. Shut the up. This is the one thing I'm good at, okay? Why the do you think you know how to do this? Then you do it. Do it on your own. God damn, dude. No, you need to go back to Hegel. You need to explain master-slave dynamics, please. If you can't understand dialectical thought, you can't understand Marxism. Shut the up. Shut up, you nerd. You don't know anything.
the extreme center, and I think that's a fitting phrase. It strikes me that what's called the moderates are the most immoderate people possible. And the reason why they're so uncompromising, I think, is because they realize they don't have a lot of positive arguments. They're not really for anything.
Exactly.
And somebody like Obama, the reason he worked was because he looked like the kind of guy who would have a vision. He acted like a visionary. He had the intonation. He had the way of standing and looking into the distance like he really believed in something. And it shows you something about just how much visionary politics has been killed. It didn't even seem to occur to people to ask what his vision actually was, right? Because it turns out, insofar as he had a vision, his vision was not to have a vision. You know, he believed in pragmatism and compromise and so forth. And that's what the center has been reduced to. It's become this pure set of performative symbols. And at the same time, you get to feel morally superior, which is ultimately what
You are a bad example when you get that mad. You are way too dysregulated. Okay.
centrism, what liberal centrism is all about, is the ability to feel better than other people. So there is a kind of a symbiosis whereby the right wing pretend to be stupid, like George Bush II sort of perfected this, like I'll act like a yokel, all of the liberals will make fun of me as an idiot, everybody who resents the sort of cultural elite for having monopolized all the good jobs will look at them sneering at me and say, yeah, I bet those guys feel the same way about me as they feel about Bush, I'll vote for Bush, ha ha ha, stick it to him, right? You know, that shtick, Trump is just doing it in a more extreme version of the same thing, Johnson's doing the same thing. You know, you act like an idiot, the people who are sort of educated elite make fun of you, and it works. Now, who's really the idiot, right? People keep falling for the same stupid trick over and over and over again. There's a symbiotic relationship between these centrists, who are just sort of sneering elitists, and these guys who are the scam artists who pretend to be yokels, who pretend to be idiots, or pretend to be fascists. They're not even real fascists, they're kind of phony fascists. They are trying to set up a situation where those are the only two viable political choices, because they both feed off and complement one another.
Oh, it seems like he's giving too much credit to Trump. He really is an idiot. Yeah, but that works. That works in his favor. Because the smart version of Trump is J.D. Vance. Look at his favorabilities. He sucks. Trump, being an idiot who is good at reading the room, makes him this dangerous figure for an audience as stupid as the American voters, okay? He's stupid. He is relatable despite being a billionaire. Why? Because he behaves in the same exact way that the average American thinks they would behave if they had that much money and power. That's it. In any case, this is where we're at. A Democratic content creator and strategist, Olivia Giuliano, saw a shift in Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries' approach after he met with a small group of content creators at the DNC in August. Jeffries sat next to Giuliano during the conversation and took detailed notes as he grilled the group, which also included high-profile political influencers Jack Schlossberg and Carlos Eduardo Espina, about what's driving the conversation online. What concerns? They didn't ask me to be a part of this conversation. I wonder why. Bro, listen, no disrespect to anybody involved, like Jack Schlossberg or Carlos Eduardo Espina. Okay, I think Carlos is good in general. I haven't really seen any of his work, but like, you know, maybe you should listen to a broad, more diverse set of ideas. Okay, he has since upped his engagement on various platforms and made recent appearances. Oh my god.
Here in the office, just finished up a telephone town hall meeting.
I can't even look at this. Oh my god, it's so bad. Senator Chuck Schumer slams Trump and Elon Musk in my interview with him. John Faza, the Gen Z analyst, said that while there's certainly a place for the sort of entrenched Democratic and aligned activists, the ecosystem needs to be broadened to include creators who are typically not talking about politics and might not be aligned with one party or another. She praised the inclusion of more of some non-political creators in this joint session. So here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. I agree. It's not just about immediately political content creators. That, like, it's not the Daily Wires of the world that have created this robust right ecosystem. It's actually the Theo Vaughns and the Joe Rogans, even though Joe Rogan is now firmly in the right, and the Nelk boys, even though they're now also firmly in the right. Like, when they first started and they were gaining prominence, the Barstools of the world, these places were not a part of the Republican media machine. They were not. Harry Sisson, no disrespect, okay, is a part of the DNC machine in the eyes of the audience. That level, like, at any sort of access Giving any sort of access to Harry in that regard is basically the same cycle and the same audience that you are captivating. You're not organically building a movement, okay? There needs to be cross-pollination across apolitical places and apolitical spaces, but there isn't. There is none of that. This one Mason posted of you is better than the entire last 12 months of press from Dems combined. Yeah, this is like this meme in and of itself.
I think that this liberal world order needs to be thrown away completely, and I think Christian nationalism would be a good alternative.
Okay, get the fuck back to your seat. Get the fuck back to your seat. Women should be seen and not heard. Why are you here? Frolicking about. Why are you here and not barefoot and pregnant in your home in the kitchen serving your man? Why are you talking to me? Why are you talking to cameras? Are you a witch? Are you a witch? Shoulders uncovered? Frolicking about like a harlot? What is this? What do you mean you want Christian nationalism?
I really think
Anyway, that's...
that
I hate this song so much. I think Hope Core edits bang. In any case, this I think is going to be a failure. This is a failure so far. If you want to win support from the youth again, you cannot do stuff like this. Oh no. Ay, ay, ay.
The ranking Rizzler on appropriation, serving Connecticut's 3rd district. It's time to enter your dark academia Congress era. All right, besties, House appropriation is the money moves thing. We are not chasing the bag, we are the bag.
Bro, this is a humiliation ritual. That's crazy. This is a humiliation ritual. We got old white ladies. What the hell is going on, man? Oh my God. This lady should never do this. I'm sorry. You should never do this. This is like elder abuse. What the
Democrats are making life smoother through government funding. It's giving, skibbity. So Sigma, man.
It's giving, skibbity. Hey, yo.
Character energy. But Republicans' Project 2025 is mad sus. Eliminating the Department of Education? Negative aura points. Basically, the biggest phantom tax on the environment, on your education, and your rights. Big L posting it online, buddy. Democrats understood the assignment, but go off. See how I keep you informed? Very cutesy, very demure.
Someone in the chat said, we're all getting sent to work camps. I mean, I'll be honest, it's probably better than rewatching this video. You know what I mean? Perhaps getting sent to work camps at gunpoint is not worse than having to relive that experience over and over again. Yeah, here is an example of someone. Here's an example of someone doing it.
Como este. Y como este, y también este comentario.
This is both better TikTok wise and also directly is talking about policies, okay? I suspect that it is about making college tuition free.
A todas las y los jóvenes y los universitarios y las universitarias, recuerden que estamos trabajando para ustedes durante muchos años, muchísimos años, prácticamente 36 años. No se construyeron universidades.
Hey, yo, don't pause her. I mean, bro, I don't speak Spanish. What do you want me to do?